Hello, dear friends. Welcome to this program, Our Moments with God, our moments with the Word of God, our moments with the love, mercy, and compassion of God, our moments also with the preaching of the Word of God, because today I will be speaking about a famous preacher. I will come to that in a moment, but before I proceed further, I invite you to please share the videos with others and ask your friends and families to subscribe, to follow, to write your comments, to press like button. I am told that this I must say every day, though some people don't like it, but I am told by YouTubers and things that one must remind every day, because there might be new viewers and people like that who have not yet heard of you, so they subscribe. And when I do this, yes, sometimes I do get new subscribers. Thank you very much for your cooperation. 3 days ago actually, we celebrated my 75th birthday, and I thank many of you who wished me, prayed for me for my 75th birthday. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it and need it. And today, the church celebrates my name's day. That means today is the feast of Saint Dominic. There are several Dominics, but this is Saint Dominic de Guzman, who was born in 1170 in the 12th century in Spain. And then he, of course, became a priest. And after becoming a priest, then he heard of a heresy called Albigensian heresy, which actually was speaking about that Jesus was not at all human, that he was only divine, and that there are two natures, or there are two types of gods. One is the God who is good, and there is another God who is evil. And that's why there is evil, and they always spoke about flesh as only evil, and the flesh has to be avoided. They also promoted that people should not get married, because if they get married, they have children, and the children are born in flesh. So they were totally against flesh. They said only about spiritual things, but they did not take into consideration the totality of human beings. Anyway, that's a big heresy at that time in the 12th and 13th century. And Saint Dominic went to France to fight this heresy, and really he fought with tooth and nail. But then what he realized at that time was that what is required is a lot of preachers. And that's why he founded an order, a congregation, which is called the Order of Preachers. So it is a coincidence that my name is Dominic. I am trying to not preach in the negative sense of the word, but preach the word of God, and preach the life of saints, and preach the things that help us to grow spiritually. I am not preaching about anything else, not collecting money and not asking for donations, none of those things. It is all to reach out to people to realize that God is great, and that Jesus Christ had both divine and human nature. So actually, though I am Dominic, I am not a Dominican. I am an SVD. And our founder, Arnold Jansen, was also a great missionary who sent his missionaries first to China and then all over the world. Currently, we are working in about 80 countries. So one of the important charisms of our order is also to preach the Word of God. That's why he named our society as Divine Word Society. So Word of God is very important for us. Even though I am not Dominican, I am doing the job of a preacher through this. The second important thing about Saint Dominic was that he is credited, and the Dominicans after him are credited for promoting the Holy Rosary. Here is a beautiful rosary, and our mother. That's why I have taken the background, not Saint Dominic, because I don't know where to find Saint Dominic, but Our Lady, who told Dominic in an apparition that he should use the rosary to fight the battle against Albigensians. And then later on, this rosary has become a real weapon against many types of enemies, including when we have evil things going on or evil things happening to us, this is a wonderful weapon. Saint Dominic promoted this as a weapon, and I am suggesting to you also to use this weapon. I remember in our family we used to say Rosary every evening, and in many families they still continue that. But slowly as the time passes, this practice is dwindling or getting away. I would encourage all of us, all of you and all of us to go ahead with proclaiming and saying the Rosary, because our mother, Mary, who promoted the Rosary, including in Fatima, she told the 3 children to keep saying the Rosary, and thank God for Saint Dominic and the Dominicans who have strongly promoted the devotion to the Rosary, the saying of the Rosary, and have really won many battles for this. So let us remember the Dominicans, but I also thank God that my father chose, or my parents chose the name of me as a Dominic. I don't know if I have ever told you this, but quickly I want to tell you that my father had a brilliant idea of naming his children alphabetically. So the eldest is known as Aloysius, the second is Benjamin, the third is Cecilia, the fourth is Dominic, the fifth is Edward, the sixth is Flora, the seventh is Gertrude, and the eighth is Hilda. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So I happen to have, and earlier the feast of Saint Dominic before the Second Vatican Council fell on the 4th of August, and I was born on the 5th of August. Of course, now it has been shifted to the 8th of August, and Saint John Mary Vianney, his feast is brought to the 4th of August. But all our saints, all are giving us very good example through their life and inspiring us to live a holy life, to try to leave things behind, which, for example, Saint Dominic did wonderfully. He actually, it is said, sold his books to help the poor, and he went around the whole of Europe. There is a beautiful song, I don't know if you have heard, but I think last year also I mentioned that. There is a song sung by French sisters, Dominic, Nick, Nick. So the words of this, the lyrics of this thing is about Saint Dominic, who, according to these lyrics, went across whole of Europe with barefoot, preaching the word of God and wanting nothing, no money, no bread. He ate what he had, and just was only his aim was to preach the word of God. So that is Saint Dominic for us. I'm sure you will again pray for me and pray for my mission. This is already my 3rd year that I am giving these daily reflections on the Word of God. Please support it by subscribing, sharing, liking, and writing your comments. Thank you very much.